Okay, looks like we're all set. Let's start. We're about 30 seconds early, but it doesn't matter. Let's do it. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did because I had a 4-day weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, boom, boom, boom. 4 days of leisure and hanging out at home. That is one of the advantages of being your own boss. So anyways, that said, I am anxious to get back to work. So let's do like we always do. Let's go over to the computer. Let's check out what we did last Wednesday, I guess it was, and we'll take our day from there. So, what did we do last Wednesday? I don't remember. Oh yes, there we go. We put the second coat of the purple on our leaves just to get rid of the paintbrush strokes. And then we added those two little nuclear towers. And that's basically what we did. And once those were done, well, we worked all the way around the frame and added, as you can see, all those tiny little dots to make our frame look a lot nicer. So, what are we going to do today? Well, that is a good question. We're going to finish off a lot of the background of our painting, of the centerpiece of our painting. Like what? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the light purple outline to all these leaves. Then after that, I'm going to finish the outline of our towers, of the nuclear guy, fix up all the black that's needed on our city there, a destroyed city, whatever you want to call it. So that's what we're going to do to start off. And I don't think we're going to have time to tackle the frame today. Hopefully we'll have this painting finished because I am going to put a major heart in here, and that's, again, we have to put 2 coats, wait for everything to dry. But since we are in summer now, I guess with the fan and everything, I should be able to have this painting all done by Wednesday, maybe Thursday at the latest, and we'll tackle a new painting on Friday. Friday will also be my 200th stream, so we're going to have a little celebration for that as well. So, that said, let's get to work. What am I going to do? I'm going to grab my palette right here of purple paint that I used last week. And I'm going to mix some purple with some white to have a light purple for my outlines. So let me do that. Here's the purple right here. Didn't go very far. And a little bit of purple there on the side. I'll get my white paint out, which is right there as well. Everything is ready to go. I am just going to take a second to clean off my knife, of course, like usual. There we go. Grab the white paint. I'll be blending both of these colors together, and I'll do it on camera number 1 over there. Like that, you can share in the process. So the purple is very overwhelming, so that should be enough. Even though I have a lot of leaves, I don't have that much of a surface, actual surface to paint. So I don't need tons and tons of colors and paints. Oh boy, 4 days off, I'm a little rusty. Not in my painting, I'm just rusty in my speaking out loud in English. Of course, since I live here in France, I'm basically speak French all the time. So, anyways, that said, I see a little paintbrush that I put some paint on there and kind of killed this paintbrush. So I'm going to just cut off that hard surface of paint. That's a drag. I can't believe I did that. I'm usually so careful with my brushes. So talking about brushes, what am I going to use? First, I'm going to take a nice fat brush just to do the blending of the deep purple and the white. And as I said, I'm going to do that on camera number 1 right over here, which I'm going to bring a lot closer. There we go. Because I do have a jar of water right there on my little bar stool, which is very practical. So, let's blend all this to get a nice texture, nice consistency of this paint. And I'll just bring in the purple as we go along, just like that. Look at that beautiful violet there. So I have a feeling I don't have enough paint there. So I am going to return to camera number 2, grab some more white paint. I have plenty of the dark purple there. And this is basically the color that I'm looking for, a light mauve color. But I definitely will not have enough. I'm going to be putting it on rather thick because I don't want to put 2 coats of this, of course. So let me just go back to the other camera for a second here and grab some more white paint. There we go. And my faithful knife. And I'll add, there we go, bunch of white paint right away. And like usual, I'm going to clean off my knife right away as well for the next time that we need it. There we go. And let's return then to our mixing camera here, number 1. And let's blend all this together. I'm going to grab another swab of the purple. There we go. And mix this all nicely together so it's nice and homogeneous. What a beautiful color. So I just realized that I'm standing in front of my fan, and I bought this new microphone in January, so I never really used it with the fan on, and I just realized that this might be blowing right in the mic. So I apologize for that. I'm going to have to listen to the stream at the end and figure out really how awful this sounds. Hopefully not too bad, but I'll be moving out of the way in just a second once I have all this blended the way it should be. There we go. Okay. So let me move out of the way. I'll bring the camera up because I will be starting with this these top leaves right up here. There we go. And now I have to find the right brush for that. And I have several choices. I think maybe this one might be the best. If not, I will have to switch to a small, we'll see. We'll see. My intuition says this is the right size. So let's try it. I will get rid of the excess water on my brush. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just step back for a second, take a look. Okay, so let's go for it. Let me get the camera in the right position. There we go. And then of course there will be some black, another black outline to this as well. There we go. There is some glare from the lights, but there's not much I can do about that. Very nice. There we go. Just add a drop of water here. Oops. I wanted to zoom in, not zoom out. There we go. Need a few minutes to warm up here as well. Just like in anything else, any sport or anything you do, always need a few minutes to kind of get into the groove, get the right pressure. Especially there's a lot of texture on this painting, a lot of bumps, a lot of crevices. There we go. Very nice. Okay. Just grab another drop of water here. There we go. Very good. So, let's head on down next to this guy here, and we'll continue. There we go. Let me just grab a little bit of water. Actually, I'll just clean off my brush that's starting to get caked up in paint. There we go. There we go. Very good. And let's return to this baby right here. There we go, very nice. Okay, very good. So let me pull this back for a few seconds. I'm actually even going to bring it over here because we are going to tackle these next little leaves right there. Very nice, yes. There we go. I'm definitely warming up now. Getting in the groove. I usually put music on, but today painting in silence is kind of nice. There we go. And like I mentioned earlier, there will be a black border around all this that maybe we'll get to today, depending if this mauve, this purple is dry or not. But with this heat and with the fan, it could very well be. We'll know a little bit later when it's time to get to it. There we go. There we go. And I'll just pull the camera back and lower it so we get the rest of this plant, because I'm going to start from the bottom. And this is where it gets really bumpy when I go on top of those flames. Because I knifed on these flames, so they're very thick. we go. There we go. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now what do we got to do? We got to do these little leaves way up there in the corner. And I was debating if I should change brushes, but I don't think I will. I think I'm warmed up and I can be careful enough not to make this too thick. But let's try it, and if I screw up, I'll just change brushes. Okay, well, so far, so good. Very good. All right. Got to get rid of this excess paint building up on my brush. And that should help with the flow of the paint. There we go. As you can see, it just flows so much better. There, okay. So let me pull the camera back. Let's tackle the next set of leaves right here in the center of our canvas, right in here. So maybe just for my editing of my movie, I will zoom in on this one right here. As long as I remember to pull the camera back. There we go. So let's hope this one. There we go. Now I guess I can pull the camera back and get on these other leaves. Like that I don't have to touch the camera every few minutes. This is going to be an awkward position though. I'm going to have to grab my chair in a few minutes. All right. Nice bumpy surface to paint on. Which is really no big deal. Actually, it looks really nice when you're standing where I am. Of course, with the camera, it flattens everything up. But when you're standing in front of the canvas, all the texture looks really cool. I mean, really gives a lot of depth. There we go. And this is where I'm going to have to grab my little cherry poo. Whatever the hell that is, a cherry poo. Never heard of that in my life. I guess that's what they will call franglais. Half French, half English, even though in French it doesn't make any sense either. I guess I'm just losing it. There we go. So, let me just stand back for a second. Oh, that does look nice. Okay, very good. So, let's not just flatter ourselves. Let's also get to work. There we go, very good, okay. Where am I here? I guess I'm not in the field anymore, there we go. Okay, I have to be careful here because when I get to the end of a segment, I always seem to get a little sloppy. Always kind of in anticipation of ending whatever I'm doing. I've noticed that, so it's something I try to be careful of. I see I only have 1 or 2 leaves to go, and right away I could feel like I was going to rush things, which is a big no-no. Especially me, who's really picky. My family motto of the Davises is the Latin sentence, ne tentes aut perficie, which means do not attempt unless you perfection in Latin. And I grew up with that, burnt into my brain. So I live by it as much as I can on so many different levels. And of course, I'm teaching my son and my daughter those values as well. Do not attempt unless you perfection. Now, of course, being a Zen Buddhist, what is perfection? Ha! And does it even exist? Nonetheless, try to do your best. A lot of texture here as well. As I knifed on the flames, and I knifed on the towers. There we go. Okay, wait, oops, let's not forget this little bit right there. Okay, so let me just make sure I get everything done with this, all this texture. There we go. Of course, I'm keeping in mind that around these leaves there's going to be a black outline as well around these towers, which is what we're going to do right now, actually. That is the next step of our painting. So, very good. So I guess I didn't really have to put my chair away, but it doesn't matter. Let me just move this over here, I guess. Get the camera number one ready for our towers. And of course, this is just going to be black outline. So I guess I can use the cap to my jar of black paint as a palette. Yuck. There we go. So that's what I'm doing. And here also I'm going to have to go slowly and carefully. I like going quickly, actually, doing just like drawing everything on. But since there's a lot of texture here, because it was all knifed on, I'm going to have to be more careful, because I do want to keep it nice and, nice and like that. So, now I'm definitely going to have to find the right brush. The right brush for that. So, I was thinking of starting off with this and then having to switch over maybe to this, because it is narrow on the top, and then I like it to start narrow and getting nice and fat on the bottom. So for that I will have to switch brushes, I guess. And do I have the right brushes, or do I even want to go to something wider? Good question. I guess first off, we can just start by getting the right texture of the paint, and I'm going to use a bigger brush like we did before for the purple, because I want this black to be almost like ink. Yet I want it a little bit thicker than ink, because I want to keep the opacity of this black to its max, of course. There's no way in the world I'm going to put 2 coats of this on, and I don't want to see through it. So just add enough water to get that nice creamy consistency to the paint so that it spreads on the canvas beautifully. Let me see how I do this. Okay, so what do I have here? I have, I think, just this one more drop, and that should do the trick. And actually, this brush could be just right for the fatter part of what I want to do, but we'll worry about that in a few minutes. Let me just work this paint, make sure it's nice and creamy. Of course, I'm not doing this on camera number 1 with you guys for the simple reason that it's black on black and you won't really see anything. It's nothing that thrilling, just a little bit of water mixed in with the paint. There we go. So, let me grab my chair. Let's come back here. I am also, if you do not mind, going to take a little swig of water, chin chin, as they say in France. So good. So good. H2O. So, okay. Boom, boom. Let's do this. Again, I'm going to need to have a pretty steady hand on this. And I am going to have to get the right paintbrush for that second phase. Will this be it? Or will this be it? Okay, we'll worry about that in a few seconds. So, where am I at? I'm going to switch over to camera number 1. There we go. Maybe I'll just kind of zoom in a little more on these guys. There we go. So, I guess I'm not switching brushes. I'll just go over using the same brush like 2-3 times to get this bottom part a lot fatter, the way I like it. I am going to switch brushes after all. I am not getting the effect I want. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Nice fat little thing like that. And see if I can't get the camera on the whole thing in this next segment, because there we go. All right. All right, very good. Okay, so that came out better than, or easier than I thought it would. Now, let's get back and add all these explosions going on here. Just like that. I'll get back down here. And I have the stiff paintbrush right here that should work just beautifully for that. There we go. How's that look? Not too bad. I'll add just a little bit of black here, just to emphasize that line. There we go. Excellent. And I might as well just add a little bit right here as well. Okay, so, very good. So, where are we at now? Let me pull this baby back, take a look at the whole thing. So, where are we at here? So I think I can add the detail to the eyeball and actually even do the rest of the head here, and then we'll call it a day. So for that I need my ochre yellow, which is nothing more than a beige, I guess. Yellow ochre. There we go. And I'm going to grab a palette. Here's some yellow. That should be okay. So let me just... There we go. I'm going to put a good amount because it's just going to be one little swirl. But I want it to, I want it to look just right. So I am going to have to work this to get it that, of course, nice, fat, creamy textures that I can just put a swab to it. And yet, if I do that now, shit, I pulled the paint out of the tube already. I was going to say, if I do that now, it's going to hinder me for doing the outline to my nuclear dude. Okay, so I'm going to do that, the eyeball, and then I'm going to call it quits for the day. There we go. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. We'll see. Let's tackle it. Let's do it one step at a time. I mean, I am anxious to finish this painting, but I do have all week, so even though the heart is probably going to take at least 3 days to do, just because I'm going to have to put 2 coats of paint, not to mention the white first, the first coat of white paint. Yeah, we'll be done by Friday, but not before, I don't think. Which is no big deal, really. So let me get this paint to be the nice creamy texture that we want it. So that looks pretty good. Let me just clean off my brush. Clean off the excess paint so I can really do a little comma very harmoniously. So let me bring the camera in for that. And I'll zoom in on the eyeball. Just like that. And I'll switch cameras. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Exactly what I wanted. Just like a little comma. And there you have it. So, now where am I at? Doing my nuclear guy. That's where I'm at. And I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just soak up the brush that I usually use for the black outline to my guy. And I should be out of trouble. I don't seem to have the shakes today, so that is a good thing. I have the black paint that's already made with the right texture. Maybe I don't have enough, so I'll just add a little more black to my palette. There we go. Again, I don't have that much of a surface to cover, so it should be pretty easy to do. Or what I mean by that, at least I don't need a lot of paint. That's what I needed. That's what I wanted to say. Hard time thinking and talking and concentrating. So what am I doing now? I'm putting my knife away. There we go, one step at a time. And I'm grabbing. So I'm gonna grab this brush I used earlier just to get that right consistency of the paint so it goes on in an opaque yet controlled fashion. Of course, opaque is the word opaque, depending what language you're talking. I kind of mix all my languages up. Anywho, so let's get this nice and creamy. Not too thick though. There we go. That looks like a little too thick. So I'm going to add one more big drop of water. Okay, so I got the right texture. Now, do I have the right brush? I think I do. So let's try this. Let me get this brush nice and soaking full of paint. Okay, so I'm always nervous when I tackle this, but I think I have it pretty much under control. I'm gonna just move the camera a little bit or zoom in a little bit so I'm not in front of the lens. Something like that. So let's tackle this. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, all right. Right on, right on. So, I just have to step back for a second, get a proper look on things, make sure the proportions are right. Now that looks much better. Much better. Very good. Very good, very good. There we go. So, now I am just going to go around the top frame on the black edge, which I guess I could do that tomorrow. Oh well, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. It's just going to take a few seconds. Just want to fix a little bit these screw ups that I did the other day. So let me just switch over to camera number 1. Oh, what the hell's going on here? Camera number 1. So, why can't I switch cameras? Okay, so apparently I can't switch cameras. Lord knows why. Things are going so well today too. Anyway, so let me just fix this up real quickly here. Okay, so I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that tomorrow. I got to do the highlights to all these leaves tomorrow in black, so that will be the time, I guess, I can use to fix these borders as we go along. So let me just step back for a second, take a look at our painting from afar. There we go. So that's the look we have there. And very good. So I see a lot of frames were dropped as well. So we are having a lot of technical difficulties today. So anyways, that's the way it goes. Fortunately, camera number 2 is faithful. So I want to thank you once again for joining me today. Like usual, I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis. Let me just go over to the computer here and give you my schedule. There we go. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm just playing around with my camera since the stream is still going on, trying to figure out why these cameras were not working. Now suddenly they are, which is pretty cool. I just want to get two views of this painting from afar for when I do the editing to the movie. There we go. There's camera number 1. So let me just get out of the way for a second. And I'll start again with camera number 2. There's the view from number 2.